After entering the WNBA with sky-high expectations and constant media attention, Caitlin Clark somehow managed to exceed every standard placed on her and reach heights that no player had achieved so quickly. She completely rewrote the rookie record book, transformed a long-struggling franchise into a playoff team, and made women's basketball popular among fans of every generation, all within just a few months. It's difficult to find another example in any sport of a young player making such a massive impact so early, and many people are realizing they are watching greatness unfold. That includes basketball personalities, sports journalists, social media influencers, and even internet critics who originally doubted Caitlin's talent. Few names in basketball are bigger than Shaquille O'Neal. The Big Diesel has remained a major media figure since retiring, serving as a key part of the popular Inside the NBA show. A natural entertainer, he has never been afraid to speak his mind about players. By his own admission, Shaq became deeply interested in the women's game because of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, following their college rivalry very closely. Since Shaq attended Louisiana State University just like Reese, it made perfect sense for him to support a fellow LSU star in their growing rivalry. Ever since the two young stars faced each other in the 2023 NCAA Finals, Shaq has repeatedly praised Angel as a special talent. Recently, however, even he has started to change his perspective. He famously called Reese the greatest basketball player ever to come out of LSU, placing her above both himself and Pistol Pete Maravich. That is remarkable praise, especially coming from a player with 4 NBA championships and an MVP award. Even Angel admitted she was a little surprised by his comments.
Yeah, Shaq told me that I was the best player to come out of LSU. It puts a lot of pressure on me, and I feel like I haven't done anything.
Shaq told me that I was the best player to come out of LSU, and it puts a lot of pressure on me because I feel like I haven't done enough. Still, she did win an NCAA championship, something neither Shaq nor Maravich accomplished during their time at LSU. She was also richly rewarded for that achievement. Thanks to the new NIL rules, she signed a major shoe deal before her final college season. Unlike many top athletes who chose Nike or Adidas, Reese followed the path of the gentle giant who once wore the LSU jersey before her. She signed with Reebok, a brand working to return to its former glory, with none other than Shaq serving as its president of basketball operations. The partnership attracted plenty of attention and strengthened the very public relationship between O'Neal and Reese, which has continued ever since. Shaq also became something of an unofficial mentor to Angel Reese, sharing advice about basketball, professionalism, and other important lessons for a young athlete. He has never hidden his admiration for Reese, whom he respected long before she became a professional player. Here is how he explained the role he plays in helping his fellow LSU alum.
I was just, telling her how to handle adversity, how to handle, controversy. And, with a person like her, you don't really want to come and say, do this and do that. I would just come in and, giving her encouraging words, just telling her, to hang in there.
It's not entirely clear how close their relationship is or how often Shaq has been in contact with Angel Reese since she entered the WNBA, but he has never hidden the fact that he is firmly in her corner. To be fair, he has always remained professional in his comments and regularly praised the growth of women's basketball as a whole. Even so, he publicly backed Reese before the WNBA season even began and was considered one of her strongest supporters, with a financial interest in seeing her succeed. Shaq was often seen attending Chicago Sky games to cheer on his protege while also recognizing how much the women's game had evolved. Given all of that, his latest remarks are somewhat surprising, as he finally admitted that Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese, is the player to watch. As always, Shaq sounded completely genuine and seemed to accept that his favorite simply could not match everything Caitlin had accomplished. His comments came after the latest matchup between Reese and Clark ended in a convincing fever victory, a game that may have decided the Rookie of the Year race and permanently changed his opinion. She does everything right. I never spoke about her because Angel is my girl, but I can truthfully say Caitlin Clark is for real. I'm watching her play, and I'm trying to be upset, but she makes the right pass, makes the right play. Girls try to beat her up, and she doesn't really complain. She is a great one, even early on. She's the real deal. Much respect to her, her family, the way she grew up, and the way she plays. After spending nearly 2 decades in the NBA alongside stars like Penny, Kobe, D. Wade and LeBron James, Shaq certainly understands what it means to play the game the right way. Despite his loyalty to the LSU star and his connection to Reebok, he could no longer ignore that no player in women's basketball was accomplishing more than Caitlin Clark. This admission may carry more significance than it first appears and could mark a turning point in how the media views Clark. If Shaq can no longer promote Reese over Clark despite their commercial relationship, it's hard to imagine who else can. There was never much doubt that Caitlin Clark would bring more attention to the WNBA. She made NCAA women's basketball one of the biggest attractions in America, and most expected her huge fan base to follow her into the professional ranks. The real question was how quickly she would adjust to the WNBA, and how long it would take the mainstream media to recognize her dominance. In other words, everyone expected the Caitlin Clark effect to reach the league, but few imagined it would become even stronger. As it turned out, her influence didn't just carry over, it grew even larger. The Caitlin Clark effect is real, and it can be measured through television ratings and revenue. Every one of the 12 most watched WNBA games in 2024 featured the Indiana Fever, drawing between 1.2 and 2.3 million viewers across all networks. By comparison, the average NBA game last season attracted 1.56 million viewers. That doesn't even include the WNBA All-Star Game, which drew an impressive 3.4 million viewers, the highest total for any WNBA game since the league's inaugural season in 1997. Clark's presence has also transformed attendance, with the Fever leading the league by drawing nearly 177,000 fans after averaging just over 4,000 spectators per game the previous season. All of that has generated enormous revenue for both the team and the league, and those numbers are only expected to rise as Caitlin Clark's popularity continues to grow and she collects major awards. It's safe to assume Shaquille O'Neal recognizes the business opportunity as well. Besides being one of the greatest centers in basketball history and one of America's most popular TV personalities, he is also a smart businessman with numerous investments that continue to generate wealth, and he is always searching for the next major opportunity. Shaq also understands the value of partnering with established stars, as the following clip demonstrates.
I wanted to start a business. The way I learned business was a gentleman gave me a book, The Dummy's Guide to Starting Your Own Business. When I was reading it, wasn't familiar with anything, but it was a chapter that really piqued my interest, joint ventureship.
Overall, this is not a good time to be a Caitlin Clark critic. She is performing at an MVP level, has led a previously struggling franchise into the playoffs, and helped turn it into one of the league's biggest financial successes. She stands clearly above the rest of her rookie class and has become the unquestioned leader of a Fever team that continues to improve around her. That's why many commentators who once doubted her game or favored Angel Reese are becoming noticeably quieter, occasionally resurfacing only to soften or reverse their earlier opinions. Speaking against Caitlin Clark now means ignoring the facts and inviting intense criticism online, so many people who once chased easy clicks by attacking her have chosen to avoid the subject entirely. Gradually, the mainstream media is reaching a clear consensus that Caitlin Clark has not only met expectations but has exceeded them. Aside from a handful of determined critics, nearly everyone now accepts that there is a new face of the league, one who doesn't fit the traditional image many people associated with a WNBA star. After captivating college basketball fans for years, Caitlin has elevated her game once again and now commands the attention of the entire country. Women's basketball was once treated as an afterthought on television, but it has become primetime entertainment, to the point where other major sporting events now have to consider scheduling conflicts. A perfect example came in early September when the first NFL game ever played in Brazil took place on the same night as an Indiana Fever game. Several respected sports personalities believed Caitlin Clark and the Fever were the real must-watch event. Dave Portnoy, the founder of the popular sports media company Barstool Sports, criticized those who chose Packers versus Eagles over Caitlin Clark. Honestly, only a fool would watch NFL over the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark right now. It's poetry in motion. It's art. It's beauty. It makes me want to cry tears of joy watching them right now. That may be one of the strongest endorsements anyone has given Caitlin Clark, and Portnoy is one of the biggest names in American sports media. He also backed up his words by placing a $100,000 bet on the Fever to win the 2024 WNBA championship despite the team's long playoff drought. Support from someone with that level of influence could introduce Caitlin and the WNBA to an even larger audience. Consider that 51% of Americans identify as NFL fans and that in 2022, 88 of the 100 most watched television broadcasts were NFL games. If only a small percentage of those viewers become interested in Caitlin Clark, her potential fan base could grow tremendously. That raises an important question. Has Caitlin finally earned the respect of the mainstream media? It may still be too early to say because many doubters could quickly return if she struggles or exits the playoffs early. For now, however, the loudest voices in sports media appear to be fully behind her, declaring Caitlin Clark the future face of the WNBA. This could represent the final stage of her rise to the top of the sports world and confirm Stephen A. Smith's belief that the league will now be identified more with her than with established stars like Brittany Griner, Aya Wilson, or Sabrina Ionescu. The WNBA desperately needed a player who could connect with the mainstream audience, and the 22-year-old rookie appears to have proven she is the perfect choice. Few journalists carry more influence than Stephen A. Smith. He understands basketball as well as anyone and has more sources and connections than many media organizations combined. Although he is known for creating controversy and speaking passionately, he was calm and thoughtful when explaining why Caitlin Clark is such a unique player and why everyone should appreciate what she is accomplishing.
She's leading the league in assists. Since July 10th, she's the second leading scorer in the NBA behind Asia Wilson, averaging 23.8 points per game.
She is the first rookie in WNBA history to record multiple triple-doubles in a single season, and the Indiana Fever are headed to the playoffs because they are winning basketball games. She is special, clearly the Rookie of the Year, and one of the top 3 or 4 MVP candidates in the league. It's truly remarkable to watch, and she deserves tremendous credit. Many people connected to the WNBA also owe her a debt of gratitude because the attention and exposure she has brought to the league are impossible to measure. Everything Stephen A. Smith said is simply a fact. There is no debating what Caitlin Clark has accomplished on the court, especially over the last 2 months. But he went even further by reminding everyone how much she has done for the WNBA financially and how many people are earning bigger paychecks because of her success. She turns everything she touches into gold, yet she rarely talks about her brand or business ventures. That is why the media should be recognizing her achievements and appreciating the Caitlin Clark effect. Instead, many commentators have ignored that responsibility and tried to hold her back. Charles Barkley, another personality known for speaking his mind, has also defended her. The Hall of Fame power forward works alongside Shaq on TNT's Inside the NBA and is widely respected as one of America's top basketball analysts. Barkley has grown frustrated with the way Caitlin Clark has been treated throughout the season and believes the media should stop disrespecting her. People believe what we say on television. Just because someone doesn't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just wrong. This girl is incredible. The amount of attention and eyeballs she's brought to college basketball and the pros is unbelievable. Barkley understands that repeated negative narratives can damage a player's public image and even affect their earning potential. While he may not express himself as smoothly as Stephen A. Smith, his message is almost identical. Stop the unnecessary criticism and give Caitlin Clark the recognition she has earned. He also suggested that much of the negativity comes from personal dislike, and as someone deeply connected to the basketball world, his opinion carries weight. By publicly praising Clark's impact and challenging those who continue to dismiss her, Barkley has invited others to prove him wrong. That was never easy during his playing days, and it may be even harder now that he is one of the highest-paid television analysts. As Caitlin Clark continues winning over former critics and earning respect from NBA legends like Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley, the financial opportunities surrounding her continue to expand. The WNBA has been transformed by her arrival and is still adapting to its newfound popularity and wider audience. Once viewed as the NBA's smaller counterpart, the league is now outperforming its parent organization on NBA TV. The network's most-watched game over the past year was the September 1st matchup between the Fever and the Wings, followed closely by a Warriors-Cavaliers game from last November. In other words, more viewers tuned in to watch Caitlin Clark than Stephen Curry. Ideally, the WNBA should use this unexpected financial boost to strengthen its infrastructure, improve the quality of play, and possibly add more franchises. The demand for women's basketball is clearly growing, but the league's response remains to be seen. Major changes could be on the horizon, including higher salaries, more nationally televised games, better travel arrangements, and even league expansion. Much of that momentum is being driven by Caitlin Clark, but the benefits will extend to current players and future generations alike. If the WNBA hopes to follow the NBA's business model, it needs a superstar with both extraordinary basketball talent and a magnetic personality. Caitlin Clark fits that role perfectly, and her popularity is already making a significant impact. The next challenge is expanding internationally, and Clark is already making progress there as well. Fans from other countries have traveled thousands of miles to attend Fever games, including one woman from Australia who proudly held up a sign celebrating her journey. That certainly won't be the last example. As Caitlin's fame spreads across the world, the WNBA will continue gaining valuable international exposure. Securing major television deals in overseas markets would bring significant new revenue and help the league compete with Europe's top competitions in terms of player salaries. Since no one seems immune to the Caitlin Clark effect, that future may arrive sooner than expected. With greater financial resources, the WNBA will be able to improve its on-court product by attracting and keeping elite talent while developing young players even faster. If everything continues moving in the right direction, the WNBA could become an even more valuable asset for the NBA, which owns half of the league. Although women's basketball is unlikely to match the men's game in worldwide revenue anytime soon, the gap suddenly looks much smaller than it once did. Shaquille O'Neal and Dave Portnoy may have arrived late to the Caitlin Clark movement, but they clearly aren't leaving. Their recent comments show that those who believed in Caitlin's remarkable season from the beginning understood her potential better than most of the basketball world. Her most loyal supporters believed back in June that she could compete with anyone in the WNBA, but many dismissed them as biased or unrealistic. Now that nearly everyone is celebrating Caitlin's success, those early believers are finally being proven right. For longtime supporters, seeing the mainstream media recognize Clark's accomplishments must feel like a victory, even if they haven't forgotten the criticism they endured along the way. If you believed 6 months ago that Caitlin Clark was the greatest prospect ever to enter the WNBA, you're looking pretty smart today, and this is only the beginning. Imagine what could happen if the Fever make a deep playoff run. If you trusted Caitlin when few others did, there's no reason to lower your expectations now. Recent performances have shown that she knows how to win in the WNBA, and the playoff experience she gains will prepare her for a serious championship pursuit. Dave Portnoy's bet on the 2024 title may have been ambitious, but next season could tell a different story. Chances are Caitlin Clark won't have to wait much longer to lift the trophy that matters most, and her loyal fans will finally experience the satisfaction of watching their hero reach the top. That's a moment worth waiting for.